All right. Good evening, people. Today is October 27th, 2025, Monday night, and we are about to get our Monday night podcast going. So let's get this show started to make sure everything is working properly. I'm gonna take a look, see, make sure we are live. If we are live, are we getting our comments? Can you guys hear me okay? And we'll go from there. So let's bring on the comments. All right. There's our comments. And let's see if anybody's on here. If you are on here, can you put anything in the comments? All right, guys. So it says I've got 5 viewers, but I got no comments in there. So either we're lagging. Hello, sexy. What's up? What's up, Alex and Mike? Good evening. So we are ready to go. All right. So let's get this thing started. Jeremy, what's up? Lita, well, how you doing? All right. So let's get this thing started right. Give me a second.
There you go. There you go. It started. Give me this shit. You already started it. There you go. There you go. It started. Give me this shit. You already started it. There you go. There you go. It started. Give me this shit. You already started.
All right. I had to start with that. So let's get this thing right. I'll be right back. All right, so we are back. Let me take this little sparkly things away. How is the music? Am I speaking over it? Is it okay? Music maestro. Miss your face, brother. When you coming back this way? Oh yeah, Graham. Are you going to SEMA next week, Graham? Are we gonna see your presence? Good evening, everybody. Thomas is in the house. Mother Mary's in the house. Fernando is in the house, and Graham is in the house, all the way from Australia, as well as Lita, Jeremy, Alex, and Mike Watson. So let's get this thing started. Rico, Tanny, what is up? So my guest just came on, so let's put him in here and see how he's doing, and we'll kick this off right away. Yeah, right. All right, Samuel, how are you, brother?
Good. How are you, sir?
Good, good. How's your Monday going?
Great. It's awesome. It's been a great day.
Well, we got your face. We don't have video. We just got a solid picture.
Oh, really? Let me see. Mm.
You're flipping your screen, but no video. We have
No
a
video.
solid picture of you, man.
Huh.
Are you on Wi-Fi or are you on regular internet?
Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi. I have my front camera on. Let me take
Okay.
off my virtual background. Let's see if that fixes it.
Yeah, I don't see the video on it. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Dustin Gonzalez, what is up, bro? evening, and he was here, and then he's gone. You gotta love lives. Lives are always interesting because technical difficulties are always happening on these lives. Anybody that does podcast will let you know that. All right,
Okay,
so
I'm back.
you're good now, bro.
Yes.
All right, awesome, awesome. So, how's your day going? How does
Great.
your
We had me and my wife. We went to go tint a house today, and then I did a Civic after I came back. So, been a good day.
That's what's up, bro. Hell yeah. So, do you do a lot of flat glass?
Yeah. It has actually been picking up quite a bit this past couple months.
Nice, nice. Are you marketing for it, or is it just happening naturally?
Organic. I mean, I post on my social media, and the more you post, the more people. A lot of people don't even know that you do that. So yeah, it's just I just post, and then people ask, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Thank you for doing this podcast. And for the people that don't know you, let's get a little introduction who you are.
Well, my name is Samuel Parral, and I own Motorsports Window Tinting in Dobson, North Carolina. I've been tinting for around 9 years, full time, four, and I've been out all on my own for 4 years now. So yeah, pretty much it. It's just myself. I'm a garage tinner. Hopefully, I'll change that here next year. But yeah, pretty much it. Pretty straightforward.
All right. And what did you do before tinting?
So actually, I used to work construction. Construction. I used to work on the pipeline, and I did that for since 2013 all the way to like 2021. And yeah, that's really all I did. And honestly, I was making great money, and I didn't think of me doing anything else. But then I met a lady that she's a tinner from West Virginia, and and I was already tinning somewhat, but she helped me get that push to leave the construction behind and just chase tinning.
Okay. So, what got you interested in tinting? What drove you to this industry?
I've always liked tinning. The first time I ever tinted something was in 2012. I had a Camry 95. And my uncle, someone knew how to tint windows, and I went and we did it together. And since then, I always loved it. It was something about it. It did not come out the great or the greatest, and it was hard, but I just loved it since then. And yeah, when I was working construction, all of my trucks, even cars that I had, I would tint it myself. I've always liked it, and I hope to one day be able to have my own business tinting windows, but never. I didn't really know that there was groups like this that existed, so just wanted to, but never really chased it. But yeah, I'm
Got,
really
got
big into cars, so.
Give me one second here. All right, sorry. Had a message in the thing, so hopefully Ryan will come on, and I sent him that stuff. And people are asking, where in North Carolina is your location? You
Um,
trip, I think,
Dobson.
is up in the Carolinas as well.
It's in Dobson, right? I'm like 15 minutes away from Virginia on the 77 side. So I'm literally an hour and a half north of Charlotte.
All right, there you go,
Great
guys.
parts.
There's the thing. So you said something about you're working on pipeline. You made a good lot of money on it. This lady kind of introduced you to how to do tinting better. But what
Yeah.
made that transition from the pipeline construction to the tint full time?
Hon- Honestly, when I was there, like on the pipeline, I got to where I wanted to be. I wanted to be a foreman, and I got to that point, and I was making great money. But that's when I realized that money was not all. I was, making great money, like I said, but I was sleeping at hotels. On the weekends, I'll just go do laundry and yeah, that was it. Even on like major holidays, they only gave you like let's say if it's Christmas, you'll get Christmas Day off, wherever you're working at. So you can't really travel back home and then come back. So money was the biggest thing. You realize that money is not everything. That's
Gotcha.
that's pretty much it. And yeah, I used to talk to a lot of people there, and they would all say that they were tinning for like or working for like 30, 40 years, being through like 2, 3 marriages, and I didn't want that to be me.
So construction, you pretty much have to be away from the family and friends for a while, right? So that's why the situation
Yeah,
under
yeah, yeah. I lived in Massachusetts for like 7, 8 months. Florida, kind of Florida for like 8 months. In Alabama for I think I was there for like 8 months. West Virginia, Ohio, all of like the East Coast.
got you.
Yeah.
Just something there's two different Dawson, North Carolinas. So
No, it's Dobson. Dobson. Dobson.
oh, Dobson, not
Yeah.
Dawson.
No, no,
Oh, there
Dobson.
you go, guys. That's probably why there's two of them. So, um, you know, you made a post or you commented on a post and you asked a whole bunch of questions on it. You want to rerun that because that really got my interest going on. Like some of the questions you were asking were, I think, especially now as we get into the slow season for the tint, I think a lot of tinters contemplate on a lot of things. A lot of tinters also need to understand the financial aspect of it. So, what was your post originally about? You want to kind of share that with us?
Yeah, so whenever it comes to like business, I love business because like I said, window tinting itself, it's pretty straightforward, other than like the skills. I mean, you could set up a garage and get a spray bottle, a couple of squeegees, and a good film, and I mean you're good to go. But so how does something so simple, how can you fail with something that's so simple, and then it's so simple that you easily get like mixed up, and before you know it, you can't keep on going. So my main question was like, why do business window tinting shops fail? And that's like, we can all agree and say that it's um well, actually, the whole thing that they started is I was watching YouTube. I came across a video where they were showing big companies that they rise and then they all fail, and they were all showing like simple or similar patterns where it was like either too much depth or they couldn't keep up with like times, like Toys R Us, Radio Shack, and that's a real thing. Whenever you talk to like older teeners, you can hear what they're saying, the way they talk, and they're not so much interested in keeping up with social media, changing as time goes by. And yeah, some people, that really catches up to them. So there's a lot of this group is a lot better than other groups that it's more there's more tinners in here. So I figured this would be a good group to ask them.
Well, I mean, I thought, like I said, to me that really resonated that we should have those.
Um, how's my volume? Because Tim said that I sounded far away from the mic. Tim, is this any better? First of all, can you guys hear me? Okay. Okay, I might have just made my audio bad. Can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you pretty good.
All right. Tim, how's the sound at? Hear you good. Tinting business can fail from too much overhead, debt, divorces. All right. So, guys, I will. Okay, loud and clear. Okay, awesome. Good now. Perfect. I didn't have my main mic on. That's why that was. That's what that was. Um. So let's kind of dive into that, man. Like, what questions got answered? What questions that you want to focus on that? Because that's really, like I said, to me, it intrigued us because my background, it was more in tires and wheels, and when I got into window tint, or when I heard about window tinting and what the business prospect was, I really dove right into it and saying, okay, hey, this could be something really good. And as I got into it, I'm learning that there is profitability, but there's also expenses and gross profits people focus on, not on net profits.
So that's why I kind of want to talk about this, because I literally made a podcast for almost a year talking about numbers and stuff, and nobody, really talked about it, engaged about it as much. And I'm hoping with the film, we can kind of dive into it a little bit more, because as we're trying to mentor and, um, you know, be good leaders, we want to put right steps for people. Like, yeah, hey, this business can be good, it can be profitable, but if you're not careful, you can go under. And that's why we see post every other day, every other week, like, hey, I've got all these tools I'm selling, I'm no longer in tinting. And you're like, man, uh it's like, why? And I thought that was a great question, um that you kind of started off with.
Yeah. Like I said, it's super interesting because yeah, as from anyone, if anyone asks, hey, how much can you make from this? Well, if you don't have a lot of overhead, I mean, the profits are pretty good. But how, if someone has been in business, let's say 5 years, for after 5 years, how can their business fail? That yeah, divorce. I mean, that would be pretty rough. Debt, getting buying or spending more than you're making. But then again, if you're 5 years in, that means and those are your habits. You probably struggle those 5 years.
So what? So let me ask you this, and I like Dustin's question too. Is the opposite way of what you saw succeed. So like on that question, what questions that got answered that made you feel like that was a good answer? Like, did you find any answers on your question on the form that you thought was valid or reasonable?
Yeah, a few of them. Yeah, the whole thing I was just asking, I just wanted to see people's. Everybody thinks different, and for everyone, really, we all do things different. So I mean, I was just asking a question and see what people's opinions or their experiences, and yeah, one of them said overhead. Overhead is really like what would kill your business. Overhead, your bills. Well, that's the same thing. The biggest thing was for sure overhead. By spending more than you're making.
Right. So, I mean, on Monday morning motivation, we had Gabriel on, and we were kind of discussing the same thing. He wants to expand, but he's thinking about getting a plotter. Getting a trailer, a plotter in there, doing all kinds of expansions. But then also understanding like what kind of clientele you have, and what your growth rate is. A lot of people spend a lot more money on a lot of tools and unnecessary stuff, um, and then your growth kind of goes upside down, right? Like you're
Right.
doing good, like you're talking about right now that you potentially want to have uh, a brick and mortar, right? You want to have your own shop, you want to get out of the garage and be more business savvy, right? Business location. Um, and you get back on there. Today was a really good motivation meeting, honestly speaking, Bill. It was a lot of heartfelt sharing, and it was good. Uh, but my thing on, I think a lot of time that I conclude on a lot of stuff is two things. One, yes, overhead, and not understanding overhead. Everybody guesses overhead, and that's the biggest mistake a lot of people make, is you're guessing that, hey, I took in a car for 250, my film cost is $35, and I'm just throwing crazy numbers out here. Okay, like, okay, just say that, hey, you're using 10x and your film is $25 for that car, right? But at $250, your cost of the film is probably 15%. It's not a lot. It's cost of the actual film is not much. But what a lot of people don't look at is your time. Okay,
Right.
your experience, all the tools that you have to use that get used and that gets worn out. You got slip solution, you got blades that needs to be replaced. You got all this stuff that adds up, and a lot of people don't look at that until like, oh man, I have had this squeegee for years. Okay, well, how well are you maintaining it? How many cars are you doing with it? How often are you replacing these little things? So a lot of people don't look at the total numbers. You
Right.
also don't look at your overhead on, if you're a mobile tinter, you're traveling to the shop or to the job, what your fuel cost is, what your insurance for that car is, all the stuff that you have to take with you and stuff, and the wear and tear of it. If you're a shop, you got electricity, all the utility bills, phone bill. If you got a website, if you got marketing, if you got all that stuff, what is that? So to kind of overall answer what you were talking about, and I want to kind of get a little bit detail into it, is the overhead. That's your number one concern for a lot of people, because a lot of people don't pay attention to what their overhead is compared to what they charge and what their profit is. A lot of people focus on just gross profit. Okay.
Right.
What do I mean by gross profit? Gross profit means that you're charging $250, and let's say your film is, let's just put it at 10%, $25, right? You're like, man, I just made $225.
Yeah.
Well, did you really make $225? Because that's your gross profit. What it costs you to do everything, all the tools, all the squeegees, all the slip solutions, all the blades, all the rags, all the washing of the rags and all that stuff, where is that calculated at, right? And if you're doing ads, where's your ad spend coming in at? If you have a website, are you putting in your monthly charge for the website? All that stuff, overhead is number one. The second thing is, you don't look at, okay, I got overhead. Once you understand that, but then you're looking at like, okay, my net profit. Your net profit is there, but what are you doing about downtime? A lot of people don't. We see this every year. This time of year, a lot of tinters are struggling. They're starting to struggle. Oh my God, my business slowed down, man. I don't know how I'm going to pay my bill. This and that. So there's no preparation. There's no planning, not understanding your overhead. And then the last thing that a lot of good tinters fall, victim to is spending. And spending can come in with that divorce, because I know somebody put divorce in there. That's your personal life, man. Personal life things can happen. Divorce can happen. Accident can happen. Those are one of the things that I don't think it should be the real reason, like, for your business failing, until that's also management, like, right? You didn't manage your life, therefore you're having a divorce because you didn't balance your time. Kind of like what Dustin said earlier is time management, right? What you kind of said that you got out of construction for. So, like, there's a lot of that stuff, and I want to kind of dig into it and talk a little bit more about it, man. So I was like, dude, I want to have this conversation in one-on-one, on live. I want to get people's feedback in and see where they connect with, where they don't connect with, what their experience is, and maybe we can, in the next 40 minutes, we can dive into a little bit of that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Like I said, it is nice because this group, there's a lot of, we're all teeners in here, so asking questions, and seeing people's, what they have to say about it is pretty interesting.
Trip brings out a very good valid points here. Paying taxes, insurance, rent, benefits, retirement. There is more to it than just putting film on cars. I think this is a great right here, like, because you're talking about, a lot of people don't even look at this, paying taxes, benefits, and retirement. That's what I say, planning, man, like retirement. How many people are retiring? People talk about, like, I want to get into business. What's some of my advice that you can give me to start a business? Well, first and foremost, you shouldn't start a business unless you have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses ready at your disposal. Because if your business don't go as you plan, you need to have those expenses so you don't go out of business. And I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of people. It's not your hustle. It's not your dedication. It's not your passion. It's your planning.
Right. Yes. You're right. So for myself, for example, last year or so of me working construction, I was working close to home, so I would come home and then tint windows, and then I was building up a customer base, and I was really trying to find my customer base. I was trying to find the people that I wanted to target, and I just stayed working and working. Go to work and tint on the side, or even where I was working construction, just after work, just go tint wherever they were at. And but for me, it changed drastically. So I was on a one day on the job, and to me this was crazy. So actually, like I said, I was already for like 3 years tinting, hand cutting and whatnot. But one day, that lady that I mentioned, she called me that one morning, and she said, "Hey Sam, I have a plotter that I don't need anymore. Would you be interested in buying it?" And I said, "Hey, yeah, I'll be there this weekend." And God was already opening one door, and the other one was about to close. And that same day, later that day, they said, "Hey Sam, we're letting you off because so and so, blah blah blah." And I said, "Hey, that's fine." So came home, and I told my wife, "Hey, I'm home." She's like, "What are you doing home? This was on a Thursday." She's like, "You're supposed to be working." I was like, "Well, it's like they laid me off, so it's all good. We're gonna go get this plotter, and we're gonna come up with the name, come up with the logo, and then just instead of me tinting after work, it's just gonna be wide open." And yeah, around like 6 months, kind of like I was, nothing really happens overnight, so you kind of get the ball rolling, like you said, and if you don't have money saved up, I mean, it's gonna be, you're gonna end before you even start. um, so the ball kept rolling slowly, slowly. We made it past the 6 months. We went and put up a bunch of yard signs everywhere. And I said, "Hey," I said, like, it's slow time. Holidays are here. And this was like around September. I was like, holidays are here. People are doing other things. But if we just put our yard signs everywhere, by the time that tax season comes around, they're going to know who we are or where we at. And that was good for me. That was the
So
thing.
it kind of just lined up for you that she called you with the plotter, and then you got to go at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, because I already had like customers. So I knew that if I just, you know, came up with the name and then just be, faster. I already knew how to hand cut, but I knew if I could use a plotter, I would be a lot faster. And yeah, so that's really what it went through. But the biggest thing for sure is that if I didn't have any money, it would have been rough because yeah, bills still needed to be paid while that whole time that was I was slow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I want to go back into this question. I wasn't downplaying divorce, Jeremy. I think that divorce is a killer for a lot of well-established businesses. But divorce is something that it's more on the personal level that you didn't maintain a good work balance and a home life, right? So like it's just like planning. That's what I was trying to say is that divorce is just kind of like a car accident or any kind of accident, right? Um, you don't really put that into your normal consideration, but you do have to put that in as you're planning. Like, what if this happened? Um, but divorce in today's age, I guess, is a higher margin because there's a lot more divorces happening than what used to happen maybe 30 years ago, right? Like, some of us as we get a little bit grayer hair, well, I guess we can call ourselves a little bit old school. We're not used to a higher divorce rate, but I guess now uh, I see a lot of young people are getting into relationships and are diving into marriage and are having a higher divorce rate, and that could be a good factor. I'm not downplaying that. I'm just saying that what a few of the other comments were talked about is planning and having a good strategy, right? So what I did like Adonis's comment up here was talking about lease and subleasing and keeping your overhead down too. So this is something else a lot of people don't pay attention to is contracts you sign. Maybe a prenup. If you're gonna get into a relationship, right?
Right.
Taking 52% of the guy his friend's business, man, that is killer. That is definitely a big string that is gonna mess you up. I like what Tripp's comeback was. If she can't tin, um, might as well close the shop and start again. So like, if you are the skill person, then you can always take your skills elsewhere, right? Like you can always rebuild and build off on it. Yes, it hurts and it's never the same, but if you have the skills, you can do a lot of things. Also, it's a lot about knowledge, right? Like going back to this morning's motivation we were talking about is that um, it's better to understand and get advice and have a mentor to skip some of the mistakes most new guys will make, right? And
Right.
that's where I kind of like your question came into my mindset was that, hey, you're asking these great questions as a young entrepreneur that's coming into it. You have a lot of time on your side, okay? Generally speaking, God only knows, but generally speaking, you're young, you're new in the business, you can make a mistake and you can rebuild a lot better and faster than some of the older guys because the body, even though we may have the passion, we may have the drive, we definitely may have the skill, but that body is going to limit us what we can do. I'm fat.
Right.
My body's only going to let me go back, do back window so much before my back starts hurting. That's because of the belly and overeating. So there's those issues that we have to overcome. But generally, when you're in your late 40s and you're in your 50s, a lot of tinters are struggling because the body is not capable of keeping up and doing 10 cars a day like they used to do in their 20s and 30s. So that means they have to be better strategy people. They have to better use their skills to have a higher cost for their jobs, right? It's because they
Right.
built that time, for what they need to do on it. So those are like little things that you have to do for yourself. You have to understand. You have to plan out. You have to strategize.
Right. That is, well, that is true. For example, I think that um, you know, getting into window tinting, it can easily be. We can. A lot of us can be financial literate. You make all this money and not really think about what to do with it. You see like the gross, and the expenses. But like you said, what about as you get older? What happens then? Whenever you can do as much work and you spend all this time, you know. Sort of, way over there. Over there. Watch TV, okay? That's my little. That's my little 2-year-old Alex.
Oh,
Um,
what's up? Say hi to Alex for us, man. That's awesome, bro. You get to
yeah,
time into the kids, man, into the life, and I love that. Uh, we're talking about divorce and mental health. Shady. Want to give a shout out to him because he talks about mental health. Jason Omaleski talked about guys' mental health as well. Uh, mental health is, you have to find the balance. There's no easy solution to it. I don't care what anybody says. You have to find a work balance. You have to find a personal life balance. And I think going to the divorce is also the same thing. It's the planning of your personal life. We
yeah,
forget sometime when we're driven for business that we focus. I do this. I'm no exception. I do this. I get the wife sometime gets upset, says that, hey, you're not giving the time to family. You're not giving time to me. You're not giving time to the house. Um, Actually, just yesterday, Sunday, man, I spent all day, even though 3 months I've been postponing. We had to do a whole bunch of bring the baby on to say hi. Yeah, exactly.
he already left. That was bad.
But yesterday was all house to-do list type of deal, right? She wanted to paint some stuff, so we painted some stuff. Had to run down, get some stuff for repairs. I got to do more stuff before I go to SEMA next week. And she's like, "Okay, you're getting ready for your SEMA trip, but what about my stuff? Who's gonna finish
Yeah,
that up?" So it's one of those things that, uh, you know, it's not just the money, man. The kids, as you get older, and these kids, man, time goes like that. And majority of your kids, yes, they need money, they need what they need, but they also need time. They also need
so,
that relationship with you, right? So like we forget that, and we put that on the side so quick that uh, that's where we fall on, right? We fall on like not prioritizing our families with our business. It's not
right.
you prioritize one over the other. You just have to balance it out, man. You have to find out, or if you are focusing, like there's time where I'm focusing and I'll tell my wife, like, hey, give me this month, give me this 3 months, give me this 6 months, right? I've grown multiple businesses. and she knows when I'm going into a new business, there's going to be that first year to 2 years where I'm going to dedicate a lot of time into that business. But once I balance it out, I'm going to have the dedication where I'm going to come back and put into the time. But at the same time, the weekends, man, that Sunday is fully for the family, other than maybe a few trips a year that are to a convention or a show or something, right? But every
Right.
other, everything else, man, she's getting 48 out of those 52 weekends, which is focused on the family. But having that understanding with your partner, knowing where your goal is, and having that conversation, that's why I love these events. More and more families are coming along with it. More and more ladies get in, and I get hounded about it all the time with the ladies that now I've connected. I get Jamel, Shanji's wife. When am I gonna meet your wife? Like I get like so many people like, where my wife is not social, man. Like I'm social
Yeah.
as hell. My wife is total opposite. I guess that's why we get along so well. But she understands what I've got to do and to provide for the family and to have a good, you know, mental
Mhm.
part of this. Me doing this for my personal beliefs and my personal feeling is that hey, it feels good to give back out. It feels good to help out. It feels good to share the knowledge. Because if I can prevent somebody else by making the same mistake I made, that feels good.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where having a mentor or having a leader or having somebody that's been through that and asking them what they've done. Can you learn how to tend on your own? Yes, you can. How many mistakes are you going to make? How long is it going to take you to get really good? Or can you go to somebody like the assassin Ryan that's now has been with me for almost 2 years and see how much my life has improved, right? My
Yeah.
installation life has improved because there's a lot of tricks that I've learned from him being there. There's a lot of tricks I've learned from going to these conventions and these events, tenor battles, WFCT, SEMA, WFR, all these events. Every event I go into, I invest time, I invest money, I invest in learning, and I invest in networking.
Right.
It's always comes in handy with all that stuff. Now, I am going to be away from my family for a week. So there's always that I go to these trips and I come back and I give them extra time to kind of make that up. It's
Right.
finding that balance, man. You know, when I'm gone on a trip, 9 out of 10 times I don't talk to my family until like it's late night because they know when I'm focused, I'm like I have that tunnel vision, man. Like if I'm at an event, my tunnel vision is my focus is trying to take in everything I can from that and focus on that event at that time. But when I'm back home at the hotel or back at wherever, then it's my time. Like I gotta spend an hour with the family or half an hour with the family, FaceTime with the kids, because it's important, right? Like that's where I think a lot of people fail on.
Yeah. Yeah. You're definitely right.
I'm
You know,
missing
it it,
questions, so
it definitely
I'm gonna let you talk and I'm gonna check on these questions.
it definitely it is nice to have a. I'm a firm believer that your significant other will make you or break you, and like just like how you mentioned, your wife knows that if you're gonna start something new, you're gonna focus your time on that, to get it going, and that's where like having someone that really understands you, and knows that what you're doing is for both of you. Then it's yeah, having a significant other that understands you. I'm a firm believer that they will make you or break you. Huh? Say hi, okay? Here's one. Say hi.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Say good.
Good. What's your
Say,
name?
what's your name? He says good day, but let me go with it. One of the things that I tell him every day, I have three. He's two, and the other one is four. If you ask him, hey, what's today gonna be? They're gonna tell you that's gonna be a good day. Every day it's a good day.
I love that. That's a great way of doing it, man. Like it's I have four. Okay, so I've got a different connection with each one of them. My biggest regret is on my oldest because I didn't learn a lot of the things that I've learned after her. Was with the connection with the kids and emphasizing with the time and so on. So I with my each one of my kids, my oldest, I trust her. I she's a smart girl. She's in UGA now. It's her second year, and we don't talk a lot. But she goes through her sister, my number two.
Hmm.
I call her number two for a lot of people, and it's like she goes through that. Now, my number two is kind of like me. She's outgoing. She's spoken. She'll literally will tell us everything that number one wants or needs or is planning.
Yeah.
But I communicate through her. With her, it's we have a I have the best relationship is we can really just pick at each other and talk freely. I can take an hour drive to UGA every week, um, and both way hour drive, and we'll be talking 90% of the time. Where with my number one, we say hi, hello, and that's it. And for an hour, she ain't talking, I ain't talking. And it's a different relationship and it's understanding. Okay, I'm okay with that because
Yeah.
she knows that I got her back if she ever needs anything. But she also knows that she can go through her sister to tell me what she wants or her tell her mom. And for me, it's more important for her to have a good relationship with her mom than to me because I think ladies just connect with the ladies a little bit more and they should have that.
Right.
Now, my boy, oh my God, man, we wrestle, we hug every night. He tells me he loves me before he goes to school. When I drop him off, I usually get a kiss. And I'm just like, I was just talking about this a couple of days ago. I'm like, damn, that kiss and that I love you is only going to be around for another year or two because he's 7. And as soon as they get 9 year
Yeah.
old, man, they're like, he's already cautious about how his hair is. He's already cautious about
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
clothes to wear. Like they had a pajama week this week, right? Like he didn't want to wear certain pajamas and stuff because it wasn't cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's that, man. It's understanding. It's just like understanding customers, right? Like in our business, we're trying to understand like it's not just a price war. How do we fight price war? Is we built on relationships with the customers, and that's the same thing. What we're kind of coming back to is our business, right? Understanding numbers, understanding what makes a 5-year-old business feel, and a lot of
Right.
time it goes for simple the drive that you're just burned out. You put a lot of time into it. I think Eric said that his wife made him stop doing 7 days a week. Man, I stopped doing 7 days a week a long time ago, and one of my problem was that I was not giving my kids time. When my second daughter came around, I realized that.
Yeah.
I realized the relationship I was having with my oldest wasn't as tight as I thought. As soon as she got into a higher grades, it was slipping. So had to make that cut. Like, okay, we're not coming in Sunday. We need to have a 6-day work week schedule. We
Yeah.
cannot do it. And it's times are changing, relationships are changing, the world is changing. We have to emphasize more with our kids. We have to connect with more with our kids because the power of the internet may be great, but it's also very dangerous.
It is.
Yeah.
One thing. This was like around like 2 years ago. We were at Disney World, and I told my wife, I was like, "Hey, this coming summer, I was like, we're gonna go. So on Wednesdays we have BNI meetings, and I said, hey, you know what? We're gonna get a season pass for a water park. It's called Wet and Wild. And I said, hey, we'll go there every Wednesday. And she said, no, we're not. Like, Brianna, we're gonna go there every Wednesday. I was like, it's summertime. The kids will be out of school. I was like, work will always be there. And some people that don't appreciate your time, you don't want this type of customers. Um, and yeah, so since 2 years ago, summers I try to take advantage of summer. For sure, summers are like, our busiest time, but like I said, hey, work is not everything. You can just save or work next, next day something happened and then that's time you can't get back.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's you can plan for so much, And having good planning is great because it can help you recover. But there's always the unknown that you're not prepared for, right? And again, it's about the same thing with the business. It's understanding what your business needs. It's understanding the numbers. It's understanding what the expenses are. It's understanding what all the other costs are, and then it's also expanding like your market and your margins and where you want to grow.
Right.
um, one of the questions, I'm hiring a salesperson right now, and one of the questions I have is, where do you see yourself in 5 years, right?
Yeah.
So every time I talk to somebody, I always tell them like, look, man, I'm always the way I kind of work, and that's personally me, and I've done this for maybe over a decade. Is I always put myself at 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan. Like, especially when I do a business, I'm always like, hey, I expect my business at 1 year here. There's always gonna be the unknown. You can plan it, but does it go to your plan, and how you pivot off of that? Then there's always that, hey, my second and third year, what am I struggling at, and how I can pivot it? How can I make it better? How can I make it steady? Because the goal isn't to just do it instantly and do it short term. The goal is to do a steady pivot to have a long stream of that growth, right? Or
Right.
the incline. And then once you get to a thing, like, you shouldn't flatline, man. You should always have an incline. Maybe it's a slower incline, but it's inclining. I think that's where a lot of businesses, when you talk about 5 years, a lot of businesses get comfortable when they're at 5 years because they struggle. They hustled for 5 years. They struggled. They put the business first, and now they're at that 5 year mark where the family's like, if you don't give us time, we're out, right?
Yeah.
The divorce comes in. So and I've talked to people, and I've talked to great tinters, and and they've told me, they're like, just like Eric Moore just said it. He's a great tinter. He's been doing it for long term, and he said, wife says no. Shanji's told me the same thing. Shanji's like, hey man, I'm like, dude, you go a lot of freaking cruises, and he's like, the family said it. Hey, you either give us time, or you're gonna be in trouble. And he's
Yeah.
like, I had to put family first, and that's why I'll work hard, but then I also take multiple vacations a year, right? Just like
Right.
what you're saying, like, hey, summertime is busy, but I'm also taking time out for the family.
Yeah.
So I love that. That's really where it kind of comes down to. I kind of want to share with the community is that it's all of this, man. Like, if you can incorporate this, you can understand this, you will have 2 to 5 years is tough. Then life hits. Then reality strikes. Um, I want to read. We make a decision then to separate from life to lose family. Yeah, man. Mike, you're hitting it, man. Like,
Mm.
honestly, what is it said? But one Saturday of every month. I mean, dude, whatever works for everybody. You don't have to copy somebody. It's just that planning, man. I love Mike said that they're Monday to Friday, man. That's gonna be the goal, Mike. Give me another year or so. That's gonna be the goal where it's a Monday to Friday. Because honestly speaking, what the real plan of this business is, I do need another year before I can really get into that boat.
So
Uh,
for example, you Cash, I know that you were in the tire business. How did you go from being in the tire business to owning your own shop and then having employees? How long did it take you for you to have your employees at your tin shop?
how Say that one more time.
How long did it take for you to have employees at your tin shop?
My tin shop. It took me. So the way I'm blessed, because I have a good crew. Okay, I'm also blessed because I work with my brothers, and they can take a lot of responsibility. So I've learned this probably. What do I want to say? In '06, I had a really hard falling out. I had a hard business lesson when I had something personally happen, and then the 2007 2008, the bubble bust happened. I also moved cross country. from California to Florida without really doing any research, without any planning, just because personal life was so fucked up. I just wanted to get the hell out, honestly speaking. But that also put in another whirlwind, another hurting on it. And then I had to go back and like, wait a minute, hey, I'm not that stupid. I usually plan stuff out. Let me go back to this, right? Um, when I started doing that in 2011, 2010, 2011, I had me, my brothers, my dad. We worked together, and we were the guys busting our ass, doing everything. But it was at that time my dad was getting older. My dad was getting tired, but he was old school that he didn't want to admit to being old and tired. But we realized around 2, 3 o'clock, dad will get tired and he will start getting cranky. He will start getting upset. Okay. And because he worked 7 days a week, because his body wasn't able to do what it was able to do. Right. So we're going back to that question. I realized that we need extra help. All right. I hired help, but we baby that help. We micromanage that help. It was a help as a physical help, but it wasn't help as like where you can release it on people, right?
Right.
2013 comes along, and I opened up a warehouse because I wanted to do wholesale and retail. So we had a retail, we opened up a wholesale because I actually moved because I was going to do wholesale and the wholesale didn't work, so I went back to retail. But I build it up. My plan was to build up wholesale. So in 2013, I built up a wholesale business. I opened up wholesale business. Well, the crazy thing in the wholesale business, especially when it comes down to tires over tint, is you move a lot of freaking tires. You have to sell thousands, okay? Not hundreds, thousands if you want to do wholesale. The profit margin in tires is literally 10%, 11%, 13% if it's great. So you just think about it. You got a $100 tire, all you're making is $10. You got a $50 tire, all you're making is $5.
Yeah.
How many of those suckers you got to sell to really make profit? But then the reality came in. The wholesale business came in. Like, okay, I need to have a team for sales. I need to have a team for warehouse. I need to have a team for drivers. I went from being 5, 6 people to being 18, then all the way up to 28 people. And at that point, it was you either losing it all, or you learn to manage, and you let the people manage what they want to do. So I had to come up with a sales guy manager. Okay, take somebody, train them to be a manager, and trust them. Let them make the mistakes, but have stuff placed for them to be able to do what they need to do. Also, give me that I was always the first guy in, last guy out. Also, have the responsibility where somebody can open, somebody can close. I don't have to be there. I can actually go take a lunch. I can actually go take a swim lesson in the middle of the day. And all that came with putting in SOPs, right? Standard operating procedures. Setting up things for these guys. Had to have a warehouse manager that would manage the warehouse, the pickers, the orders going out, the deliveries going out. Had to have a delivery leader. Delivery leaders setting up the routes, making sure he's working with the other drivers. And then instead of talking to 18 and 28 people, talking to only 4 people, and those 4 people manage the other 4 to 5 people in their team. And that really is where I learned how to really grow, was learning how to trust people, but also having people things that they can be accounted for, right? If it's not counted, we have a meeting, we have a sit down, we have a weekly meeting, right? So like one things that I'm not currently doing in my business that I used to do and I need to go back to doing is accountability, weekly meetings, staying on top of everything in a timely manner, not letting things slide out. And that's where a lot of that thing goes up. But going back to where I transitioned into tires to tint, I tried to tint in 2008. It didn't work out. I tried again in 2011. It didn't work out. I hired a tinter in 2012. It didn't work out. I installed my own tint on my car in 2016. I got the side windows perfect. I couldn't figure out the damn back window with the shrinking, but I still had that passion. So comes 2020, Actually 2019, I took a wrap class um, at the Millers, and I met a tinter from Louisiana, and a light bulb hit, because for me, wrapping was something that interests me, but wrapping was you charging a customer $3,000, $3,500. And this tinter comes in and he's like, yeah, I'm learning tint because I want to have something to do in slow season where I don't have a lot of tint customers, so I can learn wrap. But he asked me this question. He's like, hey man, how many people got 300 in their pocket and how many people got $3,000 in their pocket? How many customers you think you can grab with 300 and how many customers you can grab with 3,000? And the light bulb went like, shit. I was like, wait a minute. Let's go back to re-looking at tint differently, right? So I started following all the online guys. Matt Blackmore, I was on all his lives. Window Tint Warrior, I was on like all his video content and stuff. I took the online tint course and everything, bro. Like when I said I spent probably 6 hours a night on videos and online content for a straight year, that's minimum. That was minimum. I would be up till 2-3 o'clock and only getting 3-4 hours sleep, because when I get into something, I really get into it. It's like OCD, man. Like I can't control it. My brothers know, and I tell my employees the same thing: is if I'm doing something and you say something, and if I don't acknowledge you, I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
So like, don't say that, Cash, I told you this. If I didn't acknowledge it, I didn't hear it. And I don't want to hear that you weren't told that. I tell you that right when I hire you, that you are, if I acknowledge you, I got you. If I don't acknowledge you, I didn't get you. Same thing when I hire people. I'm like, if you want to need a day off, I'm more than happy to accommodate. Give me 2-week notice. Let's put it on the calendar. If you put it on the calendar, I will bend backward and I will make sure that you are not contacted like, hey man, we're busy today. Where are you at? No. If you gotta do something, so there's certain things that you gotta put in, right? You gotta let people. One thing I'll tell you: if you want to grow a business, if your employee is getting a better opportunity somewhere else and you cannot provide that opportunity, be the bigger man and let them go.
Right.
If you look out for people's best interests and you look out truly for the best interests and you put that out there, the world is gonna give that back to you, bro. Like you're gonna find good people, and good people are gonna float around you. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but Ryan works with me now. But Ryan's seen I've got a lot of returning employees that are my customers. A lot of returning employees, and it's because I don't try to fuck anybody over when it comes down to employees. Hey, if you're getting paid $15 an hour and that's not cutting it, you need $18 an hour, and there's a better opportunity for you to go and do $18 an hour there, then go ahead and do that. He does it all the time. He'll be 3 feet away from me, ask me a question, I'll answer, and if he could have mentally been 100 miles away. But it's that, man. It's like, okay, how do you manage people, right? How do you manage people? A lot of it is stressing the hell out of it. Like right now, it's my business, but it's Ryan really handling the tint side. Like I've literally, after the first 6 months, 3 to 6 months, Ryan got to know the area. Now Ryan is responsible for the tint area. I'm going in and asking Ryan where things are because that's his domain, right? My domain is that I'm the back sport for you. You need a tool, I got you. You need this, I got you. I need to work on sales to get you sales in here so you can tint, right? So like right now, we're falling behind on that. So I need to put in a system to bring in leads. I need to put in a system to close more sales. I need to now focus a salesperson so that way my installation guys have something to do, and it's those things like, man, like a business owner, and everybody talks about it. A lot of these great speakers tell you is put the damn squeegee down. You know,
Right.
you can't do that when you're growing because you have to do a lot of stuff. But as you grow and you want to expand, the biggest problem is, are you now? There's nothing wrong with it. I've met great tinters that want to be one man shop. They want to handle every
Hmm.
aspect of it, but at the same time, don't have the delusion of like, I want to be a one man, but I want to be up here. Like when you're one
Right.
man, you can be here, you can be happy, you can be making enough money to get your family by and do what you want to do and kill it. And you can be comfortable, you can be affording your things that you want to get in it. But if you're like, hey, I want to do $1 million by myself, I haven't met anybody that's a single man shop that's able to do $1 million by themselves. Okay.
Right.
Every $1 million business has multiple people in there. It
Right.
will not happen.
That is right. I mean, you can only do so much in a day, and every single day. You are true or right about that one.
Reach out to me. I'll explain a community of less than 10,000 and talk what to break and grow. I came from nothing. It takes drive and heart. Scroll up to prior post. All right, we're going to prior post for Mike. What's the
All
prior
right.
post,
All
Mike?
right. Let's see.
Travel to you guys soon, my man. Okay.
Right.
I don't know if I can go back enough, Mike. We might have got it. 2000, I was at it. I hired it. 2000 my first, and 2000 my second. I was a solo leading industry for 11 to 18 months. I stepped out to trade shows. Industry peers pushed me. That's when a lot of life fell. I took my wife forwards and said it won't working. I'm just busting my ass and not growing. Then she told me one more year. Now it's growing and I have second location and a rep for manufacturer. Blessing come for one that pursued never to let down, push to be top. Again, it's far from the top, but I'm blessed. I mean, that's right there, man. Like, Mike, congratulations, bro. Like, Mr. Autobahn, like he's really has, um, done great, great in his life. And like you said, it's a lot of it. Don't get me wrong, the hustle is there. You have to put in the time. You have to hustle. You have to also communicate with your personal life. Just exactly what he's putting in here. Um, so there's a lot of that stuff. I mean, we can talk for this man for days, but I just wanted to open a conversation. Like maybe we can have more of these conversation. This is what I want to bring to these trainings. This is what I want to bring to these events. I want to have more of these dialogues. I want to have more people's brains like just bouncing off on like what can we do to improve ourselves. When we just like say, hey man, like I was just talking about, like, hey, one man, there's no way you're gonna get to that $1 million. Just prove me wrong,
Yeah.
please. I would love to be proven wrong. And I'm not saying that's not it's not there. Maybe there's somebody that's crazy, but in the tint world, show me one man person that's done $1 million. Every $1 million business takes multiple people, and it takes a
Right.
system, whatever system they apply on. So, but you can be that one person if that's what you're happy with. But if you're like, hey man, I want to be a great, a businessman. I want to be a businessman, because here's the thing: you can be a great installer, but you may not be a great businessman. There's a
Right.
different mindset. A lot of people talk about like, why the fuck the salespeople get paid? They're doing all the work. You gotta
you
understand,
know. Uh,
if
you know.
if
I feel like a lot of times, like I said, I love the business side, and I love tinting itself is super awesome, but the whole operation behind it. For example, it is good to put your ego aside and know that you can't do everything by yourself, and hey, an account, a tax person, and yeah, that's where, like, sure, you can do all these things, and I like listening to Mike Norm stuff that he posts all the time. Just like,
exactly.
you can try to save some money on taxes, and you think you're saving, but in reality you're cutting yourself short, because you don't want to pay this person this much. Now you're going to end up paying even more on taxes just because you don't know what you're doing.
I mean, like taxation is a whole different thing, man. You really need to know professional people. I will tell you
Right.
this: don't fucking take tax uh, advice from anybody but a certified person. Okay,
Right.
somebody that knows what the hell taxes are. all these
Yeah.
all these TikTok, all these YouTube, all these Facebook groups, if they're giving you tax advice, fucking don't take it. Like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
get any harder than that. You will fuck yourself
Yeah.
so hard that a lot of time it's worse than a divorce. Okay, the recovery. Here's the thing with IRS, bro. Like, even the government may be down right now, whatever the bullshit that's going on. I don't get into politics. I hate that shit. But here's the thing: when you owe taxes, not only do you owe the taxes, you owe interest and penalties on it, and the IRS does not give you a fucking break on that shit. Okay.
Oh no.
The biggest
Yeah.
mobster in history got taken down because they couldn't find anything else other than tax fraud on him, right? He got taken down because of that shit. Please,
Yeah.
please don't fucking take tax advice other than a CPA, well-trusted
Right.
person. Mike's like,
No, you're definitely right.
you can get,
Mike says I can speak on taxes
like,
also.
here's my thing. Every time I tell somebody, like, this is what I think taxes are, but I always tell them, please check with your tax advisor or your
Right.
CPA, because here's the thing: having a good CPA is very important. Okay, we're turning film into 501c, but it's a good CPA that has this stuff, bro. You know what I had to fill out to apply for a 501c? There was fucking 58 questions. I literally had to spend 3.5 hours on filling out a 58 questionnaire just for filing it. Well, like, that's just a questionnaire. Like,
Yeah.
they ask you the stupid question over and over again, and it's like you have to do a lot of these things. Creepy music in the background. It's Halloween, damn it, Rico, get with the program.
Yeah, but you know, another thing too, I feel like I said, tinting is cool, but like personal development, other than skills, you know, like learning how to talk to people, reading body language, learning to connect with customers. You know, as like a solo person, well, you know, even like a business person, you know, you got to be able to connect with your team and be able to read them. You know, if something's going on, or it is so. Like I said, tinting itself is just one thing. The whole science behind it, it's a whole different. We could go on about in like days and days about, you know, all the different things. Personal development is, I like stuff like that, or like, you know, being able to understand. There's a book that I love. It's called How to Make Friends, How to Influence Others and Make Friends. And that is super awesome when it comes to employees. When I was on the pipeline, I was the most. I had a crew of like 30 people, and then you know, just learning how to manage these people, and how to get them going, how to get them to do something where they were happy to do it, instead of you saying, "Hey, you better do this right now." But you know, but if you get them going in a certain way, hey, you know what do you think about this and that? And then they'll be, you know, it's kind of, they think that they thought about the idea, so they're gonna go and do it. Does that make sense?
No, it does, man. I mean, it does make sense, and I love that you say you read a book, bro. Because, like, there's not a lot of people that come in that they read books, and I think it's very helpful as growth that you go back to these helpful books, man, because they do bring in a lot of insight. And going back to the same thing, the mentorship, and like the books are your
Yes.
mentorship on that. But I want to go back to Dustin's question. He asked you what. Where is the question? What do you feel is your weakness on the business side?
My weakness. Let's see. My weakness. Honestly, I can't really think of something right now. Around whenever it was like summertime, we were booking like 3 weeks out. You know, it sounds like it sounds good, but you know, it was, to me, you know, it didn't feel right telling people, oh yeah, you know, it'll be like 3 weeks from now. It just, I wanted to get it done pretty quick. But now, since it's kind of slowed down, I don't get a lot of phone calls, but I still stay booked out like a week and a half right now. That would be my biggest thing. It was a rush around summertime, and as a one person, you can only do so much. So I would say that just, you know, booking 2 weeks out, 2+ weeks out, let's say, you can, like I said, once again, you can do so much. Right now, we're actually we buy some land and hopefully we can put up a building next year. That's my goal, and then just go from there. But as of now, things are going pretty good for me. But like I said, even as a one person shop, I mean, you can only do so much. And even now, if I had a team and people that I needed to provide for, you know, um, I would definitely need to be finding more work for this guy. But since it's just me, 2 weeks or a week and a half is a good time.
So what is your goals for the next 6 months to a year for yourself?
So I had a goal to save up some cash before the year was over, but then I was kind of looking for some land, and those were the only two. Just get to this certain amount before the year's over, or find a piece of land where we can build a building on. We found a building. Hopefully, we can close on it here in a couple weeks, and then after that, just save up and you know be able to put up a building. That's really the next goal. And then after that one, I told my wife that in another 5 years, we have to have enough money saved up to buy another property and just buy properties. Really, that's my biggest thing that I want to do.
So are you currently owning multiple properties or?
Well, I have a house, and this is where we have our garage. But I bought a lot, and I would like to actually have a big building with 4 bays, have two for us, and 2 bays to rent out to like other guys, so we can get some passive income, and just yeah,
I
to
love
have
that,
two
bro.
bays.
I love that. I think Adonis said that something earlier as well too. Is that passive income? Like, see, you're not just thinking about yourself. You're thinking about like passive income. Like, hey, not having a 2 bay shop, but having a 4 bay where you got
Mhm.
2 bays you can utilize and 2 bays that are being rented out. Uh,
Yeah,
Dude, that mindset is freaking. That's a great mindset, bro. I love that.
that's
That this is why I wanted to have this conversation with you in person, man. Because I was like
it,
on Messenger, it's only so much.
it's
I know
only
you
so
were at
much.
my shop when we did the WFR training
Mhm.
last year, right? Uh,
Yes, it was like 2 years ago, but yeah.
yeah, 2 years ago. Like, well, I think it was last February, not this February,
Mhm.
but the February before. But
Right.
yeah, almost 2 years. But yeah, like I know we didn't connect a lot at that time, but I still remember I was like, damn man, what did somebody
It's
somebody
it's fun. It's funny you say about the 5 year thing, because when like I said, when I was on the construction side, that was really where I spent, almost a whole decade. And I used to ask my guys, hey, where do you see yourself from 5 years from now? And they'll look at me and say, Sam, what are you asking that for? I was like, hey, that's a real thing. If you don't have any goals, how are you going to get there? You can't just wake up and just go to work. And, as before you know it, 3, 4 years are going to go by. And what did you do? So it's great you said that, because yeah, I think the same way. Is where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
and look,
Never surprised.
this guy wanted to break the internet and come on, so I'm giving him a chance to break the internet. It's Mr. Autobahn, man. I cannot deny Mr. Autobahn.
Oh no, no. Hey
What's going
Mike,
on, guys?
What's
Sorry, guys.
up,
I'm
Mike?
outside, so sorry. Like the rain is like beating down right now on the roof, but sorry. I'm
You
here.
better be sorry, man. You're interrupting a podcast and then you don't even have a right setup, bro. What's
I
up with
mean, bro,
that?
it's the best
Come
thing
on, you're supposed to
I
be
got. I got a
in
cell
an
phone.
F-16 in your private jet, like with the soundproof walls.
Bro, I fly out tomorrow. Sorry. I mean, that's the best I got,
Uh,
man.
well,
No,
welcome.
man. I just wanted to chime in a little bit, like, and again, you can read back on some of my posts, but like, man, I came from nothing, like literally nothing. I was a stereo installer, and that's where I started. That was my passion. My dad's been a DJ for 40 years of my life. and he's still a DJ at 73 years old. So my passion was music. So that's how I got into the audio.
Right.
And when the audio market back in like 2007-ish started to collapse a little bit, and it was starting to get tough because Circuit City Best Buy was really like impeding on small markets. With, you know, I started to transition a little bit. He was like, man, you really need to touch film. I was like, man, I really don't want to. But 2006, I started to, you know, put my hands on film a little bit. I took the online Lumar DVD, you know, took that course and all that stuff. I mean, learned a little bit of nothing. And then it was a process there. From point 2008, when it crashed, that shop I was at was like, I don't know what we're going to do anymore. We're starting to, you know, lose everything. 2010, they told me basically June of 11, we're closing. I have 2 years of schooling, you know, adding school, but I was not a school person, you know.
Right.
I didn't know what to do. I had a family at that point, and I sat back like, it's the only thing I know is window tint. So we're going to give it a shot. I have no idea of business, thing but how to cut, lick, and stick. That's all I knew, bro. So
Right.
I took a gamble, man. And it was the best gamble. Today, it's the best gamble of my life. When I reached out to a local tire shop, he let me rent a space. So I rented from him from 2011 to 2019 when I hired my first employee during COVID. And it was the scariest thing of my life. You know, I mean, I felt like I was doing good, but I also said in my text earlier, I looked at my, I said, did we make the right decision? You know, I really didn't know because I felt like we were doing okay, but I felt like we weren't gaining any traction either. Like, I felt like we were just breaking even. He came to me back in 2019, and he's now a 7-year employee. And now I have a 4-year employee under him and a section. So it's just one of those things, man, where you really have to keep, you know, just be part and know that you're giving back. And man, it's been the set off point for me. You know, I'll never give anything back.
Hey, Mike.
Right.
Yes, sir.
You got that middle of nowhere service going on, as Dustin put in the comment. But
shit, I can't see.
Here's the
I'm
thing.
sorry.
Your service is really bad. It's like your words are getting chopped up, your video is getting chopped up.
Shit,
But
I'm sorry, guys.
here's the thing. No, you're good. You're
No,
good.
no, you're fine.
What are you doing November 17th?
November
17th.
17th? Oh,
Yeah.
shit. I don't know. I don't know right now.
I guess we're doing Monday night podcast.
I got to look at my daughter's softball schedule, but
because I want to bounce off of this. I do want to hear your proper experience, but I want two things. One, I want a good connection so we can hear the hell out of this.
Okay, my bad, guys. Sorry.
Two, I want to hear more about it because I think there's a lot of people that are interested in especially in your story because you know you shared your story a few different times and a lot of people love it. But right now the connection is really bad, man, and I don't want to downplay it because we're losing the message. But November 17th, November 24th, whatever works for you, let's connect afterwards and let's lock you in and let's continue off on this because I brought Samuel on just because I thought this was a subject that we really need to dive into. Like if we have to do like 3-4 of these podcasts, I want to do it because I think it's very important that more people understand, especially at this time of year, but the growth, like I want to understand he's trying to get to where you're at, right? And there's a lot of people that want to know that.
Okay.
Right when he started giving
17th
advice, we missed it all. So I want to bring
Damn it, Ryan.
you in. Let's connect, and let's
Okay.
do it right, because
Yeah,
it's
let's
an
do it.
important message. I don't want it. I don't want to downplay it.
All right, yeah,
So
shoot me a message and let's plan a date, brother.
yeah, let's plan a
I'm in.
date because guys, whoever wants to hear it, we'll definitely have Mike either the 17th or the 24th. I got both those weeks available right now, and we'll get it locked in. Make sure
Okay.
that it works with your daughter's schedule and everything, and we'll definitely pick up on this. Uh,
That sounds great, man.
all right, bro. Have a great night. Thank you for jumping on.
All right, brother.
All right,
Later.
bye. So I love that. This is what I love about it. I love when people want to jump in and share their experience and share their knowledge. And Mike is definitely one of those persons that loves helping people out. And I thank you, Mike, for jumping on. But like I said, I definitely want to hear your story, kind of like I want to hear Samuel's story and thought on this. And like I said, I don't think it's answered 100%. I think there's, we got some part of it in today. But I think don't let go of that, man. Let's keep on going. I want to follow up with you in let's say in 6 months and see where you at, where you kind of put down that land and where that's going.
Yeah.
But let's these conversations. Um, it's an important conversation.
It really,
It's a hard conversation. A lot of people don't want to talk about it because it's nothing interesting, right? It's like to them, it's not entertaining. It's not like okay, there's no pizzazz to it, right? It's all boring. We're talking about numbers. We're talking about money. We're talking about growth. We just want to grow. We want to be overnight millionaires, but
and,
where's the work for it?
and if anything, I'll say all of us, it is number. That's one, let's say if you have a regular job and then someone tells you how much you can, gross in a day. Hey, you can make $2,000, 3,500 in a day. You'll be like, what? $3,500 in a day? Ain't no way. So it is like numbers, but then we all love numbers, and you're right. Not a lot of people wants to hear this. Some people maybe they're just tinners, right? All they do is just tin, and then just whatever they make, they just pocket whatever, and the next thing you know, you got to buy film, and you don't have money because you spent it. And that's why it is nice to have a subject like this. That it's not just about tinning or who's the best, who's the fastest. In reality, it's like how can we all learn to have goals and at the end of the day set ourselves where we don't have to be tinning while we're like 70 years old, or it's that's really, for example, when I said about passive income, and I was telling my wife one day, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And she's like, well, it seems like you don't want to tint no more. I was like, that is right. I don't want to tint forever. I was like, if I can make good money and find ways where money can make me more money, and that was actually another question I asked maybe a couple months ago, a few months ago. Like what are we or what are other tinners doing with the money that they make? And sure, like I said, investing it. That's really what I've been for me, when I started this, I had a goal of my biggest thing was to be known, get my name out there, know who I am, just build a solid customer base. And then, as I grew, then start saving up. And then, like I said, one of the things that scare me is debt, right? Sure, there's good debt and bad debt, but if I can save up and buy something cash, and I know that even if I slow down or whatever, I'm still okay, and I'm not there trying to stick my head out the water because I can't breathe. I got you know bills I need to pay, and I don't have enough work. So um it
I
is nice to have.
I will tell you, to me, having life insurance is very important because we talked about this earlier, right? Like you
Right.
don't know what's going to happen, right? If you care about the family, you should have some kind of life insurance, whether
Right.
you have just a straight out, uh, you know, I forget the terms now, but there's a term life, there's IULs, there's a whole bunch of different stuff. I actually took a course on this thing, and one of the most important thing is like, okay, having a life insurance. So in case something happens to you, God forbid, that there's some kind of backup plan for you and your for your family, right?
Right.
Uh, Properties, property investments is probably the freaking best and the oldest trick in the book that
Right.
does not, um, in the long run, play down. It can play down in downtime, right? Like short
Hmm.
term. You have the 2008 fiasco, you had the other fiascos here and there, but if you look at the long term history, it's always gone up,
Right.
right? Okay. And then your traditional investments, man. There's a lot of different investments that you can invest in. But here's one thing I will tell you. My only advice I will tell you, and again, check with your own people.
Yeah.
Um, uh, bro, I love knowledge. Knowledge is Justin is my thing, brother. Like I'm very passionate about a lot of things. So inflation. Okay,
Mhm.
you have to look at a 10, 20-year inflation, and whatever you're investing in, your investment has to be more than what inflation is. Okay, so proven history for before COVID, okay, your inflation is typically 3 to 4%. So if you're not making 5% on your investment, your money is devaluing. So if you
Right.
put your money under your mattress, your $100 in 5 years is not worth $100. You'll still say $100, but what you can go buy for it in 5 years is not going to be the same as what you can go
Yeah.
buy it for today. And then the same thing in 10 years. So you have to take that $100 and invest it into it where annually you're getting about an 8% back, right?
Right.
You're gaining 8%. So you that way you're taking care of the 3-4%, maybe 5% of inflation. Now there's going to be time where inflation may be 18% or 15%, but there's also going to be time where there's no inflation, right?
Right.
You have to look at a level course on it. So typically you're looking at a 20-year scale, right? Like how has it gone? Same thing with real estate. You're looking at what has real estate done in the long term, not the short term. There's highs and lows, and you can buy different stuff. If you really know the market, you can probably play a little bit better. But if you buy a property today and you sit on that property for 10, 15 years, you're 99% of the time you're going to gain on that.
Right.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter if you're buying it out of nowhere land. It doesn't matter if you're buying in a busy land. Properties are always, always, always gonna go up because there's only so much land in the world.
Right.
Population is going; it's not stopping. So we're running out of more land. So the more land you own, the more money you have, basically. But anyways, spin that wheel. So I'm gonna put the wheel on. I'm gonna let you have the mic and kind of let you talk because Shady said I need to shut up and let you talk for a little bit too.
All right. Well, what would you guys? What do you guys suggest? One of the questions, like I said, that I asked is, for someone that how can you in 5 years? We're talking about 5 years. If you're in business for 5 years, how can a shop not fail? What would you guys do so it won't fail? I don't think I can see the messages very well or the comments.
The comments are still there. If they come up, I'll read it out. That's a very good question. I think we should hear different opinions from what different people say on there.
Yeah, that's like I said, and a lot of answers were different. Everyone's story is different. But for the most part, you can see what people are saying, and the ones that are like more common that people share the same or think the same is those are pretty important, I believe. I for sure believe that branding, branding yourself is one of the biggest things. Branding, like Mike said, in being involved in the community. At the end of the day, it's really. I'm a firm believer that when you're in business, it's not so much about who you know, it's who knows you. And being in a community, in a community and being known in the community and what you do is unless you're a bad person and and you screw every customer that comes across. I mean, you'll have customers and it'll be just like a snowball effect as time goes by and more people will know who you are. And yeah, that's to me that's one of the biggest things.
I love that. I think again what you put out, what you get back. But in long run in business, to stray to stay in business and be strong, you do have to have planning. You do
Right.
have to have a vision. You do have to have a core value of how you're going to do your customer service. What do you stand behind? Putting out good work, partnering up with a good film, not going with the cheapest thing, not cutting corners, providing customer service, focusing on those Google reviews, having good marketing, content. In today's world, I think content is key.
It
Um,
is. It's that's
it,
what I mean about window tinting. It's you literally just named probably like 10 different things, and all this just revolves around window tinting. It's just one simple thing, but yeah, there's like so many other different things that really need to work all together so you can make this happen and be able to stay in business, for some time.
I mean,
This,
that's one of the things that I've had this conversation when my mom was alive with my parents is a couple different times, and I've had other relatives kind of also talked about it, like, "Hey, man, you've been in the business for this long. Why don't you have crazy flashy things and stuff, and why aren't you not doing this and that, or why aren't you not at this level?" And to me, I think what Ryan just said right there in the comments is doing people right, and uh, do right by people, and you'll enjoy everyone knowing your name. um,
yeah,
to me, it's doing right and having that good night's sleep, that you didn't fuck anybody over, you didn't take anybody
right.
advantage of anybody, and just having that good night's sleep. Like, I don't need to worry about, like, I did anybody wrong. uh, I The people that know me know that when it comes down to being good and evil and religious, I'm very on that. I think what you put out in the world, you get back in. And I do believe God tests you, so there's a different type of tests that come out, but ultimately, it's do right, and if you do right, you're not going to have to worry about anything, right? Like, and then the
Right.
same thing in the business. If you do right and you put out good business and you take care of your customers, and the customers understand it and know it, you're going to be fine in business, and you're going to get the
Yeah.
referral. In my tire business, I haven't advertised in the last 15 years, bro. Like,
Oh wow.
it's we build the business, and I'm now trying to get back into the marketing a little bit because it's gone crazy right now with the IG and everything else, because a lot of people now are going off of whatever's content related, right? If you don't have content,
Hmm.
you're falling behind. But we survived a lot of it because we built good relationship with customers. We had repeat customers, we had friends and families of those customers, and that's been the core for our business. Now, at the same time, we need to stay up with the current times, because otherwise the business will start declining instead of inclining. And that's also doing what the marketing is, doing what the content is, doing what's up with the times. I've seen great businesses over time that fail because they don't stay current, and I feel like we need to do the same thing for ourselves. We're no exception. um Stay on top and keeping your community active in your business. Yeah, I like that, especially how he had his commerce at his open house, Mike. That was a really good thing to see. Persistent, my friend, always a chance. Anybody else that's not on the wheel that wants to be on the wheel, please put your name in there. Ryan for the wheel. Okay, I'll put Ryan on the wheel. Anybody else I miss that's not on the wheel? If you want to be on the wheel, this is the last call. I'll give you guys 30 seconds, and then we'll spin it. Man, it's been an hour and 33 minutes already, and it looked like we just started
Yeah,
conversations.
that one by pretty fast. Is
Time.
Yeah, like I said, business. I love talking business, and personal growth is one of those things that comes with learning time, management, being able to put business aside and take time for your family. That's same again. I feel like that would be under personal management, health or mental health. Another one is So many different things. So many different things. Taking care of your body. That's another one we don't really think much about it. We're just working and working, and before you know it, you're
I'm very guilty of that. I need to take more accountability on that. I think we talk about everything else, but the personal health aspect is definitely it's not only mental, but it's also who's Alejandro, man. I don't know any Alejandro. They gotta put the name in here, man. Stop throwing
What
people's
about
names up here.
Cash? You believe in like for example, I'm in this thing called BNI, and that's really one of the biggest thing that made my flat glass side grow quite a lot was the flat glass or BNI. When I joined, right, I said, hey, well, I'm looking my main target for flat glasses, people that have businesses, that's really who I'm looking for. Why not end up in a group full of business owners that most of these people have shops or offices? And yeah, it's we've been growing quite a lot, and it was because of BNI, networking group, and which at the end of the day, these people are business owners, like-minded people, and yeah. So, what do you think about BNI or like stuff like that?
So, I mean, honestly speaking, I have not joined the BNI. I've looked at it, and I've had a lot of people that I've had a conversation with that have had great luck with it. I'm actually like wanted to join a BNI, and I just didn't connect with the person that was in charge with the BNI properly. I think the BNI I tried to connect with wasn't for me. But
Right.
there's multiple BNIs out there, so I'm definitely that is my goal for next year is connecting with the BNI as I get more heavily into the flat glass because I think flat glass BNI is very important, but also BNI can be really beneficial for a lot of people when it comes down to fleet vehicles, right?
Right.
So automotive wise, like it's not just for flat, but automotive wise, I've looked into it definitely. I think even with the fee, some of them are free, some of them are have a fee on it. I think it's another marketing tool that you gotta really spend money to kind of gain the benefits. The BNIs
Right.
you're in, are you in a free BNI? Are you in one of those BNIs that has an
So,
annual membership?
so BNI in general, yeah, that one you have to pay, and I want to say the initial fee, um, is like 1,200 or 14. It's like a year, and then they do like a background check and fees, application fees. But I'll tell you, full transparency, I made from BNI alone. I think we made like 22 grand in 1 year, and it's from one, and that's not even advertising. We just show up. Um, I'll go there every Wednesday from 8 to like 10 o'clock, and I'll even post it on my social media, and I'll say that Wednesdays the days that I don't even tin cars are my busiest days, and yeah, it's pretty big, super amazing. When I joined, they said, "Hey Sam, if you're not ready for growth, this is not for you," and that gave me goosebumps because I knew I was in the right spot.
Yeah, I mean, it was opposite for me, where it was just about fee and money and uh, other stuff, and I'm like, that's not what I want to connect with. And I think it was just the um, Eric Pendleton coming in with BNI is the thing. Yeah, it will reconnecting and searching for towers. No, I definitely agree with you. I think BNI is a very good key component to work with, and then um, Chamber of Commerce. That's also another key one right there. Use your community to grow. If they need pay, why can't you pursue your own growth and save that? Get with the contractors, realtors, and the industry. Yep, definitely.
That is, and a lot of times too has to do with like the people, the people that are in the chapter. For example, I went to we went to go attend a real estate office, and the lady that was there, I didn't really she was a little weird. And then come to find out, she was the president of another chapter that was close by. And honestly, if I was in there, I don't think I would have liked it. So it matters a lot, the people that are in it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's how just like any business, it's who runs it and how it's run. Some of them can derail you and not have the right process or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm definitely going back and re looking at the BNIs, because I did look at the BNIs back in June and July, and I really got into it. Like I was like I was ready to go. It's just that interaction, asking some questions, because I'm one of those guys that will ask the stupid questions.
Yes.
And I've got Thomas right now. Like I work with Thomas, and he's like, man, they didn't tell me this, they didn't tell me that. I'm like, because I'm not the guy that sits in the back of the class. I'm the guy that sits in the front of the fucking class, and I'm gonna be asking you every question I can. Doesn't matter what I do, and I know what's his name was making fun of it, what Cash has not done. I've done a lot of things now. Like I learn it, and I move on, and I implement somebody to do that. Like I'm alignment certified alignment technician. Okay, so like I am certified. I'm a certified road force tech. I am certified Michelin program, a person. I'm a certified Continental program, certified BF Goodrich. Like I've got certifications probably coming out of my ass, but it's what you take with that and you implement somebody else, right? I get training. I do what it needs to be done. I learn it, and then I implement somebody that can do that for me. Because for me as a business person, here's the personal information that I would love to share is that to not get taken advantage, you got to know what that business involves, right? And yes, just being a business minded and business owner is great, but if you don't know right to left, bottom load to two staging, ceramic to dye film, what the difference is, you haven't handled it, you haven't also experienced what your technicians are going through, the hustles and the struggles and the problems, it's harder to work with them, right? But I'm one of those guys, they said lead by example. I love that example. I want to lead by example because I want to go through it. I want to know where your headaches are, where your problems are, and I want to see how I can help with that.
Right.
That's exactly what I was told, Dustin. Not a stupid question if you're searching for an answer. Well, Mr. Edwards, shout out to him. I'm pretty sure he's not alive anymore because he was in the 90s. He was pretty old white dude. I loved, he was my originally history teacher. Then I did a couple of the classes with him just because we really connected. But he told me two things, and I'm going to share this with you. Business advice, life advice, growth. There's no free lunch. There's always something attached to it. Okay.
Right.
Second thing is, the only question that is a stupid question is the question that was not asked. So if the worst they can tell you is that's a stupid question, or no, I'm not going to answer, or whatever, it doesn't hurt to ask. Ask the fucking question. You may get an answer, you may not get an answer. But the problem is going to be when you don't ask that question.
Yeah.
All right, so let's spin this damn wheel. Let's call it a night. We're at 145. I was trying to do this one earlier. This is gonna be a surprise box. Whoever's gonna get it is gonna get it, and it is Rico. All right, Rico. I'm gonna give you a choice.
Congratulations, Rico.
I'm gonna give you a choice whether you can have a surprise box or a hat, whichever one you want to get. We'll take care of you. Message Ryan Wilcox, even though Ryan is not on the live, even though he's having a tower connection issue, he'll still get your message when he gets the power and connection, and we'll get you something. Acts like Cash, you will scare them. Make sure you ask. It's Halloween. Axe or ask. Whatever. And it landed on me. I'm still trying to win a hat. Laugh out loud. Who's trying to win a hat? Justin. Mike says he'll take a hat, Rico. So congratulations, Rico. If you want to pass it on, you can pass it on. It's up to you. I know Rico's won a couple of times, but anyways, guys, it's I gotta put my kid to sleep too, and it's 9:45. Samuel, thank you for bringing that question forward.
Sir,
Please
thank you. Oh,
continue enlightening our minds, asking the questions, and everybody that's on the live. I encourage everybody to um, do that. Ask your question. There is no stupid question, and anybody that says, like I had somebody, I asked a question today. Somebody said easy money. You want to enlighten me on easy money? Because you answering easy
yeah.
money is not giving me any advice. So I'm not playing anybody down. I love this, and I want to get more stuff with you, Samuel. Like I want to encourage you and everybody else out there, engage. Please ask questions. Please share your experience. Please, grow this industry, because anybody that says that we're messing up the industry by providing more knowledge definitely does not have the right mindset.
All right. It's,
So
yeah. Have how whenever have the what's it called, the scarcity mindset. You just having this scarcity mindset. It's once you kind of get to that point, you become unstoppable.
there you go. So
Um,
is what's your last advice for tonight, man? Let's share what your knowledge or what your advice for the listeners. Um, we may not have a lot of
uh,
people on the live, but there's a lot of people that watch this stuff
right.
afterwards.
Um, one of the advice I would say is be grateful every morning. Every morning when you wake up, be grateful, and whenever you go to sleep, just waking up and feeling grateful, just feeling grateful for just breathing. We all go through struggles. Life is up and down, but as long as you live grateful, you'll always be happy.
Love it, love it. And I think with that, Sam just disconnected his phone or his phone died. That was weird. Your phone just blacked out, bro. You still with us?
Think I lost you guys.
I can hear you now. You did go away for a minute, but I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Let's keep the engagement going on the group, and let's grow. And we'll see you on the next one. I won't be here next week. Ryan Wilcox will be doing the live next week. And we'll be at SEMA. And if you're at SEMA, please say hi. Let's take a picture together, because we always forget to take pictures. And having those pictures is a great memory to have. Sam is coming back on. I think he might have some last minute words. You kind of messed up there for a minute, man. You okay?
Yeah, yeah. I think someone tried calling me and they messed up the live.
Oh, that's what happened. That's why I blacked out for a second.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, just living grateful. That's you'll always be happy.
I love that. I love the mindset, bro. Like that every morning, be thankful and start with a great mindset. Um, I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Have a
guys.
great
You guys
night. Everybody have a great night. Thank you again, Samuel, and keep doing what you're doing, brother.